everybody, welcome back for another episode here on the Darwin's Room channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate your support. Que lo que a mi gente en el Caribe. Today we're going to be talking about the latest film from Ari Aster, Eddington. This follows a sheriff of a small town in New Mexico who runs for mayor during the peak of the coronavirus pandemic in 2020 amidst all of the political division. This stars Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, and Austin Butler. This was a film that I was interested to see because I am a fan of Ari Aster and his direction. I think he's made some really compelling and thought-provoking films. Not all of them have sat with me, but I will say my favorite is Hereditary. And even after watching this movie, Hereditary is still my number one. I love that movie. I think it is such a great horror film that instills just genuine fear. But this was interesting because it's a completely different type of genre that he's going for here. And so it was very interesting to see these dynamics and what he was going to be able to do with it. And in the end, it does result in intriguing and interesting commentary slash satire on themes about political division, coronavirus pandemic, and how both sides of the political spectrum handled it or wanted to handle it. And there was some good dark comedy interwoven with that, with how it kind of pokes fun at both sides of the political spectrum. You definitely feel like one side is getting more of the heat than the other, but nonetheless, both sides are getting their due, I guess you could say. So it was very interesting and it was effective in its approach of the satirical component of the plot. I also really enjoyed the performances. Everyone does an incredible job. Joaquin Phoenix, as always, he's just really great. He can do amazing work with anything that you put in front of him. He's fantastic. And Pedro Pascal, he is excellent here as well. I love the dynamic between him and Joaquin Phoenix's character. They have this good rivalry that kind of invests you into the story. Unfortunately, though, that does lead to my big issue with the film, is that this movie severely underutilizes all of its characters except for Joaquin Phoenix. I understand Joaquin is the lead of the film in general, but Pedro Pascal feels severely underutilized, as does Emma Stone and Austin Butler. I don't quite understand what they gave to the story. If you remove Emma Stone and Austin Butler, you remove all of their scenes, it doesn't damage too much of the context of the rest of the film. So I think if they wrote it a little bit differently, their characters wouldn't have even been necessary for the film. And therefore, whenever the movie jumps to their part of the film and their subplots, it feels shoehorned in, it feels unnecessary, and it causes a lot of drag in the pacing. And I understand that their characters are meant to perpetuate certain themes and important plot points that are pivotal to the story, but they're just not used enough to make those pivotal moments matter or mean anything or feel substantial. So I was really disappointed to see that, but I was really surprised that Pedro Pascal was as underutilized as he was. Because in the beginning of the film, maybe the first, not the whole first half, but maybe the first quarter of the movie, he is well utilized. He plays a fairly significant role in the film, but then once it reaches that second quarter and up to the last half of the film, he is essentially sidelined. And I was really disappointed to see the lack of use of his character. I would have enjoyed seeing more, and I just don't understand why they did that approach. Some of the writing feels a bit convenient. It feels shoehorned in. It doesn't always feel natural, but the characters are intriguing, and there are some great twists in the story that really do a great job of subverting your expectations of what's going to happen. The movie is steadily paced, even though there is some drag because some of the characters aren't utilized as much as they should have been and creates the drag. It's still well paced, and it leads to a chaotic finale that's really exciting, it's really thrilling, but it's also really heartbreaking. And I think that the overall themes of the movie really get a home run here in the end with how Ari Aster decided to conclude this story. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. I don't even know for myself if I'm going to watch it that repeatedly. I think there's other movies that do a more substantial job of providing intriguing political commentary, as well as social commentary that feel much more organic and feel more impactful by the end of the film. Whereas this one felt a little bit pretentious, if I'm being honest. So I think that there was a lot of areas where this could have improved, but it does have some redeeming qualities, and I think the overall effect is still somewhat intact, even if it's not as effective as I wished it could have been. So in the end, my rating for Eddington, I am going to give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's a decent political and social commentary. It's got some exciting moments. It's got a great pace, excellent performances, but it has some downfalls that I think mainly occur within its writing and how some of it feels convenient and unnatural, which makes the experience feel a little bit forced. So those are my thoughts on Eddington. What have you guys thought about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I would love to hear your comments down below. Thank you guys so much. God bless. Take care.